Nintendo has come up with some pretty unique and interesting looks for the protagonists in their game franchises, but one of the most iconic is everyone's favorite pink puffball. No, not you, Jigglypuff. Get out of here. I was talking about Kirby. Kirby has been a staple in Nintendo gaming since way back in 1992. But surprisingly, on the Nintendo 64 console, Kirby was the star of only one game. Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards was released only 1 year before the release of Nintendo's next console, the GameCube. Was it worth the wait, or was Kirby late to the party? Let's find out. Welcome to Yes Guy Gaming's review of Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. This time around, Kirby is met by a fairy whose planet has been invaded and conquered by dark matter. During the fairy's escape, their sacred treasure, the Great Crystal, is shattered and the pieces are strewn all about the galaxy. It's up to Kirby and his friends Adeline, Waddle Dee, and King Dedede to collect all the pieces to restore the Great Crystal and free the fairy's planet from the clutches of the dark matter. Truthfully, the story is not a major part of this game. The cutscenes are short, include no dialogue, and really only serve to give you some level of context to what you're doing. Really, Kirby? Adeline can paint anything into reality, yet you feel like you have to long jump to pick things up that are already on your picnic blanket? Get it together, man! In all, there are 30 levels across 6 stars that Kirby must traverse to achieve his goal. These levels appear to be three-dimensional with the depth of the background and the way the camera angles change, but Kirby can only travel in 2 dimensions. Up, down, left, or right. This faux 3D was a bit of a strange decision, as some of the camera angles make it difficult to see what you're doing, and some of the scenery can get in your way a bit. But the three-dimensionality of the scenery and enemies still does help the overall visual appearance of the game. Blocking Kirby's path is a bevy of traps, puzzles, and lots of enemies. In traditional Kirby fashion, enemies can be inhaled and swallowed to absorb their powers. There are 7 different powers in all that grant Kirby a new attack ability. What separates this game from all the others is your ability to combine 2 powers to create entirely new abilities. This increases the number of usable abilities to 35. That's the 7 individuals plus the 28 combinations of 2. Oh, sorry, too much math? Let's keep it simple then. There are a lot of f***ing abilities. These combinations of powers add a level of depth that's hard to find in other platforming games. Each level could end up playing differently depending on what powers you're using at the time. If you get damaged and lose your powers or fall and have to start again, you will likely have to change your playstyle to suit the abilities that are available in that level. This variation helps keep your journey fresh and adds some incentive to replay the game to try out some new powers. These powers are not all created equally. Some are much cooler or much more useful than others. Some allow you added mobility, like the single fire power that, when used correctly, can help you speed across levels with no resistance. Or the electricity slash cutter power that gives Kirby a frickin' double-bladed lightsaber. Way cooler than the singular cutter power, which has Kirby rip his fucking face off and throw it like a boomerang. Okay, that one's a little cool. There are a couple of other little sections that help to keep things fresh. Every now and then your pals Waddle Dee and King Dedede will catch up with you and help you through certain areas. Waddle Dee will roll up in a number of different sled-type vehicles.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty.
And together you'll slide through these sections, pounding enemies and jumping over obstacles as you go. When Dedede shows up, Kirby hops on his back while the big man pounds down barriers with that big hammer so that they continue their journey. There aren't a ton of these sequences, but they still help to break up the action and keep the game flowing smoothly. At the end of each world, Kirby will have to fight that planet's final boss to move on. These battles force you to use different techniques and adapt to various situations. One has you battling a shark underwater, having to swallow incoming projectiles and fire them back, while another has you fighting 3 colored polygons? Well, I guess they were struggling with boss ideas, but the battle is still enjoyable, forcing you to inhale other smaller polygons and spit them out with precise timing. Because Kirby 64 came so late in the Nintendo 64's timeline, many of its elements seem average when compared to other platforming games. The mediocre story, basic level design, and comparable graphics all lead to this game feeling like a pretty average platformer. But The combination of the engaging boss battles and the massive depth in the combat system take Kirby 64 to the next level. And for that reason, the final verdict for Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards is a 7 out of 10. It was and still is a pretty solid game. Most of this game's elements haven't managed to hold up to the test of time, but the mix and match ability system and challenging boss battles still manage to provide players with some solid fun even by today's standards. Kirby 64 was released on Nintendo's Virtual Console, on the Nintendo Wii, and as well as the Wii U, giving old fans and new players alike a chance to enjoy this game. If you're a fan of Nintendo platformers, definitely give this game a shot if you haven't already. Well, that's it for Kirby 64. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and maybe leave a like or comment and let us know any games that you'd like to see on this channel. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we hope to see you next time on Yes Guy Gaming.